What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from TheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Wrecking Crew, Amazon's foray into 2026, which, their 2025 slate consisted of G20, Tyler Perry's Duplicity, War of the Worlds. So, they had a great 2025, and I'm sure they're looking to turn. Now this is just like all the other films that came out. Although, I mean, it's okay if you like one or two of them. They're all going to play to different audiences. I ended up liking Playdate. That was about it. That was the other. Some of them were like okay, but yeah, there were some films that came out of Amazon last year that were not. This is Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, starring as half brothers who are investigating the death of their father, estranged father, who was into some dark shit. It's from the director of Blue Beetle, and that's how it maintains its kind of comedic yet action paced tone. I guess the more you like Blue Beetle, the more you might like The Wrecking Crew. Both Batista and Momoa have been doing comedic work trying to branch out of just the guys who punch things roles, which Jason Statham seems to be perfectly happy in. Although, I think if we look at Statham's resume, I have a feeling most Jason Statham fans would recognize that he was excellent in Spy, and every once in a while you can actually use him in a comedy, and he's used to great effect. So the problem is that these two guys are so similar that they end up being like the Bash Brothers. So the fact that the film tries to insert any sort of like difference in them feels just weird. I mean, personality wise, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista feel like they would be going up for the same roles, and there's not enough in the script or in their acting to separate them. They do kind of feel like long lost twins, but not in that fun like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito way. They feel like if twins had been made and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, that's what it feels like. Where it's like, yeah, they might actually be twins. Like it's kind of the same person. So, um, it also has a supporting cast that features Jacob Batalon, Stephen Root, Morena Baccarin, of the people that I can easily remember off the top of my head. Um, and yeah, it's got audio description. I thought the audio description was pretty good. I recognized the narrator's voice. Amazon didn't let me watch the credits. It really wanted to push me into something else. It's very disappointed with Amazon. But the audio description is pretty solid for what the film is. There's one particular scene that I thought was done really well because the overall dramatic impact of it is nonsense. But I thought the audio description team did a really nice job of it. I don't want to spoil things for you, so I'm going to say this out of context, and it won't make any sense until you see the movie. But there's a moment where the brothers find a dead woman, and she's like on top of a car, and her eyes are open, and she's got that vacant stare, right? Like she's fallen to her death on top of a car. And I thought that was described really well for the scene. But man, the way that they the way that scene is shot, I really thought we were gonna like end there, and there would be like a second episode. It was like one of these like big like boom boom boom, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, oh my god, and fade to black. Next time on The Wrecking Crew. I mean, like it was such a weird emphasis. I mean, it's not like it's a small moment for the movie, but it's also not like the finale. But it felt like we were going to transition into, oh, is the Wrecking Crew like a trilogy? Is it like The Strangers where now we're going to know, oh, there's just more of the movie? I was like, why did we put, anyway, um, I don't get it. I don't get the directorial style of the guy that did Blue Beetle. When he does more movies that I'm interested in, I'll learn his name. Um, so same thing with the actors. It's like there are other actors in this movie, but I memorized the ones whose work. Oh, Tamara Morrison. I do want to say that. Yes, Boba Fett is in here. I didn't want to suggest that I don't think he's a good actor, but he's in this as well. I don't know. It's just the brothers. They get involved in things, and there's a mystery afoot. They're at odds with the actual cop of the area who's trying to investigate things, who's trying to tell them, one of you is a cop, but not here. The other one is not a cop at all. Let me do my job. And also, kind of also telling them exactly what they need to know in order to advance their own skills. They also kind of hate each other. And I don't know, the film tries so hard to find differences in these guys, but it would have just worked so much better if they had actually been different. You know what I'm saying? Like if they actually were two different personality types instead of two people who are basically the same thing, trying to pretend like they're not. Trying to have banter in a way that is like, well, you and I are so polar opposites on everything. It's like, I didn't get that at all. As a matter of fact, I wanted to go back to Heads of State and apologize to that movie because at least Idris Elba and John Cena felt like two totally different people. Even though I didn't really love that movie that much, this movie is just like, it really wants you to believe that these two people have so much not in common, that they're just so far apart that they may never be able to see eye to eye. And I'm just like, casting. This is why there's a casting Oscar for people who are like casting. It's like you can have Jason or Dave. I don't think you can have Jason and Dave and then write it this way. If you want to have Jason and Dave, then you have to write them more like the gag is that they think they're so different, but everybody else around them keeps saying, no, you're not. You're exactly the same person. You just don't like each other. And maybe that's the inner truth, is what you see in your brother is what you don't like about yourself. And then the movie ends in a therapy session. It's not what happens, but would have made for an interesting movie. This is just kind of okay. I didn't hate it that much. I think Amazon definitely released worse movies last year, a couple of them. Um, but it could have been better. That's just the frustration with this, is that the two very charismatic, talented leads who both want to be able to break into action stardom, obviously, God, Dave Bautista's career is stalling. What is happening to him? He was working with some very gifted directors there for a while, and now he's like in the Lost Lands. I feel like, what was that movie that he did? Where he's the adventurer at the end of the world. Oh my God, I can't. Afterburn. Jeez, someone save him, please. And Jason, like they're both interesting enough and talented enough that they should be in better movies that are written by people who actually understand what makes Jason Momoa entertaining and what makes Dave Bautista entertaining, instead of these sort of really generic plots that could have been given to anybody. Like anybody could have been in this movie. Especially considering they're half brothers, they don't even really need to look alike, and they're supposed to be more different than they actually are. Although the film does reference the fact, both had like a couple times that they are quite buff, you know. So it's a January release. I don't know what you expected. Although, considering last year around this time, Amazon put out You're Cordially Invited, I liked this. I liked that more than this. Sorry, I know that not everybody loved You're Cordially Invited, but I thought that had more fun beats to it than this did. This, I just kept looking for like the exit. My favorite characters were not Jason and Dave. I actually like Jacob Batalon and Stephen Root more. So, in their supporting roles, I thought they were more entertaining. Stephen Root plays, the typical kind of doofusy character that he's really good at. He was also in Heads of State. Stephen Root needs a better agent. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Um, Watch it, don't watch it. I don't think your life will be altered dramatically either way by it, but I'm going rotten on this. I'm going to give it a 4.7 out of 10. I don't think it lives up to the hype. I think there are better films for these guys. It's not completely incompetently directed. However, nobody really tried to direct the script in a way that fully harnesses anything that makes Jason or Dave stars. This film could have been, they could have easily been replaced by anybody. Um, Jason's a little bit harder to replace because they're really trying to give you the island flavor, and he does a lot of like Hawaiian things. So you'd have to find somebody else who would fit that bill. But Dave Bautista's not Hawaiian. So I don't know. If he is, he's doing a really poor job of representing Hawaii. Like I don't ever hear him talking about, oh, my Hawaiian culture. So, um, yeah, they could have been swapped out, and I think that's why they're half brothers. Is because they're like, yeah, Dave. Nobody's ever gonna buy Dave as being from the island. Um, so yeah, 4.7 out of 10. I did like the audio description. I thought that was great, and the supporting cast is fine. Even the ones that I don't remember, they were fine. So that's the kindest thing that I can say to this movie, but it's kind of forgettable. And at the end of the year, I'll be like, what was the Wrecking Crew? I don't remember. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.